Merry Christmas, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Well, cloudy skies and 30 degrees on the barn thermometer this Christmas Day morning. It looks like we're beginning a gradual warm-up the next several days, but rain should be moving in as we get closer to the weekend. Well, with it being Christmas Day, the markets are closed, but we do have some special programming lined up for you today. Let's check in with Morgan Anderson as she has a scholarship opportunity update.
This news coming in today from the Ohio Soybean Council Foundation. The Ohio Soybean Council Foundation offers $47,000 in scholarships. The Ohio Soybean Council Foundation, or OSCF, is pleased to announce scholarship opportunities for undergraduate and graduate students for the 2025-2026 academic year. The scholarship program encourages undergraduate and graduate students at Ohio colleges and universities to pursue degrees in one of the many academic fields that support the future of the soybean industry, including agriculture, business, communication, economics, education, engineering, science, and technology. Quote, "These scholarships are a perfect way to make an impact on our field moving forward," end quote, said Cindy Lehman, Hardin County soybean farmer and OSCF scholarship committee member. Quote, "It's important to recognize people who are passionate about the future of agriculture, and these students prove every year that the soybean industry is in good hands," end quote. The OSCF scholarship program has awarded over $500,000 in scholarships since 2008. In terms of the 2025-2026 undergraduate scholarships available, there will be 8 undergraduate scholarships of up to $3,000 each that will be awarded, one $3,000 scholarship and one $5,000 scholarship. Applicants must be Ohio residents enrolled as full-time students at an Ohio college or university, having attained at least sophomore status by the fall of 2025 with a grade point average of 3.0 or higher. Eligible majors include biology, biochemistry, bioengineering, molecular biology, chemistry, engineering, biotechnology, bioenergy, biofuels, food science, crop science, environmental science, agricultural communications, agricultural business, agricultural education, or any of the agricultural disciplines or related fields. In terms of the 2025-2026 graduate scholarships, 3 scholarships of up to $5,000 each are available to graduate students who are enrolled as full-time students at an Ohio college or university and have proof of legal residency in the United States. Applicants must be conducting research in biotechnology, bio-based materials, bioengineering, crop production, plant pathology, crop science, agronomy, soybean breeding, or a related field, and must be focused on advancing the soybean industry. The deadline for undergraduate and graduate applications is January 10th of 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. All OSCF scholarships will be competitively awarded with funds paid directly to the educational institution. All scholarships are not renewable and recipients may reapply. For more information and to apply, visit soyohio.org/scholarship. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Morgan Anderson.
Thanks, Morgan. Let's take a look now at your Christmas Day weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Plenty of clouds around for Christmas. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Clouds are one part of the forecast, temperatures are the other, and hey, that's where I have some good news for you. Well above normal temperatures for this time of year. It doesn't feel much like Christmas at all here. As a matter of fact, if you're one of those that are hoping for a white Christmas, you'll be disappointed as we have clouds building and eventually some rain working its way into the Buckeye State. I think the rain initially tries to break out in west central and southwestern parts of the state. Spits and sprinkles, no more than that, but then as we move through the overnight tonight into early tomorrow, might see a slightly better round of moisture from I-70 southward. Once again, not looking at any more than a few hundredths to a tenth or two, but it's damp. Northern parts of Ohio, just clouds, nothing else. I think everybody is dry through the day tomorrow with regard to new precipitation. We may not see a lot of sunshine, but there's at least a chance for a few breaks in the clouds. Then on Friday, we start with that same kind of setup before thickening clouds really come in the afternoon. By afternoon, evening, we see rain showers developing over western and southern parts of the state, continuing to rotate through as we move into early Saturday. We see more rain Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, overnight into Sunday, before colder air tries to push in for late Sunday into Monday. All in, all done, I think we have to say at least a quarter to 3/4 of an inch of rain combined out of that late Friday through the weekend time frame. Could be seeing slightly higher amounts. Then slightly cooler to start next week, but dry for Monday and early Tuesday. Tuesday night into Wednesday, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Significant area of low pressure passing by to our south. Cold air coming in from the north. That means we could see accumulating snow to kick off the new year. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been rooted in agriculture. Founded as the Farm Bureau Mutual Automobile Insurance Company with a mission to protect farmers and their communities, we honor our legacy by offering solutions that evolve with the complex needs of today's farms. As the leading insurer of America's farms and trusted by 8 farm bureaus for 100 years and counting, Nationwide is on your side. Number 1 insurer based on 2023 direct written premium per AM Best. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Well, if you haven't listened to the latest Ohio AgNet podcast yet, I'd encourage you to do so, as it has a unique Christmas story with a heart right here in Ohio. Here's Matt Reese with more.
It seems there always are some beautiful stories of charity that emerge, but in a recent interview with Kaylee Keller of Keller Meats in Medina County, I learned about how Christmas came a little early this year for some folks in the region around Asheville, North Carolina, after being devastated by a hurricane on September 26th. Tina, a single mother, was living in a tent with her 10-year-old daughter after Hurricane Helene destroyed the apartment she'd been renting near Asheville. With cold winter weather ahead, she feared for the future with her daughter.
The single mom had lost everything. And, I don't know the full effect of her financial situation, but there's clearly had nothing, no savings, isn't going to be able to just go buy and rent somewhere else. And so her and her daughter were living in a tent. And I know the daughter was able to go stay with her dad for a couple of days, because what I'm also hearing is the health department is showing up and telling people that they cannot keep children in living situations like this. So we're going to take your kids and put them in CPS. FEMA has some program where you can have a hotel voucher, but it's only, at least what this one woman had, was only 7 days. So it's 1 week, a voucher.
So by November 15th, Tina needed a new home. Well, in early October, Kaylee was helping organize an agricultural group from Medina County in an effort spearheaded by her brother Kelton to deliver a load of hay and supplies to offer relief to hurricane victims in North Carolina. The generosity of this group caught Scott's attention.
Text message from my brother to me, "Hey Kay, I want to put together a couple loads of hay and supplies to bring down to the folks in North Carolina. What do you think about that?" And it was an instant, drop in my spirit. And I go, and I didn't text this back, but I said to myself and the Lord, oh, this ain't going to be no 2 loads of hay. I just know it. I had no idea what God was about to do, because just day over day, it started to grow. So then Scott Kelly gets a hold of me and says, "Kaylee, we grow pumpkins. What do you think about bringing a couple of loads of pumpkins down there?" And I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't think these people need pumpkins, but who am I? There was something inside me that was like, "Kaylee, don't you go nay-naying on this." And I go, you know what? I bet somebody needs pumpkins. Bring them down. We got in contact with the directors in the foundation called Wine to Water. That is, just so happens, uncoincidentally, because that's not how God works, and they're headquartered in Boone, North Carolina. And Doc Henley, I got on the phone with him and told him how I had a guy bring in a few pallet loads of pumpkins, and he just is the kind of guy that just gets inspired with an idea instantly. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, Kaylee, the weekend coming up right after because we were coming there on a Tuesday and a Wednesday." He goes, "That following weekend would normally be our town's biggest fall festival, where hundreds of thousands of people come in for tourism and this and that." He goes, "Well, clearly, we're not going to have that this year." He goes, "What if we do some sort of fall festival with those?" So I tell him about these 3 pallets of pumpkins and how Swine Barbecue, one of our customers, wants to feed people a hot meal and is on the convoy. And he's like, "Man, you guys are bringing barbecue down and your hot barbecue down and going to cook out for us and these pumpkins." And so this whole festival thing came to fruition in all of 5 minutes. Well, I called Scott the next day and he goes, "Kaylee, guess what? I got 20 pallets of pumpkins." So it turned into this amazing thing. Well, while we were leaving the Wine to Water headquarters that next day and from the festival, watching what Swine Barbecue fed over 2,500 people a hot meal. I mean, people are coming through this line with a suitcase because that's all they have left. So I get a message from a woman that says, "Hey, Kaylee, I'm so thankful. My family and I are so thankful for the efforts that you guys have done from Ohio to bring all these supplies down here to our agriculture family and friends and our community. My daughter, Maisie, has just finished cancer treatments for a brain tumor that she's had. And all she's been asking for is a pumpkin. And we couldn't get her one because the pumpkin farms have been destroyed down here. She goes, my husband just sent me a picture getting 2 pumpkins, one for her and I. She goes, and I just lost it. Got new pumpkins, needed to get down there. And he said, why would I stop with just one? And I'm going to send 2,500.
The experience seemed to resonate with Scott.
Scott comes up to me and says, like, Kaylee, these people need homes. What if we find people that want to donate campers and this? I'm like, that is going to be something to run with. So we had funds to be able to go buy a camper. And when we told people what it was for, they would take, $500 or $1,000 off what they were asking for. Scott would go pick them up. He's put fixing these campers up if there was any leaks or this and that on them, getting them put together. So campers then are found, purchased up here. Scott puts them in his name and then transfers the titles when he gets down there and meets the people. They're fully furnished. They've got fresh bedding in them. They have stocked with groceries. They have their warm clothes in there. They have sleeping bags in there. They have, Christmas presents in there, ready to go home. While Scott was going to pick up and bring one of the campers back to his farm and fix up the camper and get it ready, one of the awning pieces came loose and hit another guy in oncoming traffic's mirror. So they pull over, they're talking, Scott's telling him about what he's doing. Well, this other guy, Chris, gets involved. Now he's building out campers. So
wait, the guy who got his mirror hit is building campers? Now
it has turned into helping build out these campers and provide homes down to North Carolina because his truck got hit by one of the campers that turned into a home. With what God did with one yes, and what he transformed from one yes of one trailer to be, about $2,500 worth of hay to get down there, turned it into $200,000 worth of hay and supplies and medical needs in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I can't look at anything and say that's too small. No way.
Yeah.
Because a pumpkin changed a little girl's life.
To hear the full podcast episode, visit ohioagnet.com and click on the podcast tab. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
In any year, your best harvest is only a few upgrades away. Seed Consultants exclusively serves the Eastern Corn Belt, combining our deep knowledge of local conditions with high-performing products fit for your acres. Most importantly, our customized services put our products and your business in a position to succeed. We help you start with better to grow your best. Visit seedconsultants.com to learn why our products and services are simply better.
It's time now for your morning Louis Dreyfus grain analysis, brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff. Let's check in with Ryan Martin.
Grain markets closed mixed on Tuesday in a shortened holiday trade. The markets closed at midday on Tuesday, and we will not see the markets trade again until 9:30 a.m. Thursday morning. What are we going to be looking at when we open back up on Thursday? Watch the Brazilian real. Closed in on its record low at 6.2 to 1 versus the U.S. dollar on Tuesday. The record is 6.29 to 1, I believe. So we could trade that easily here before the year is done. That makes a big story when it comes to grain imports. Nations, if they're going to buy out of Brazil, can get a lot more bang for the buck than buying versus the U.S. dollar. Record large South American crops are also going to play into that. Large crop means prices are cheap to start with, and then you've got that valuation situation that we're talking about. Otherwise, also had a story on Tuesday about Russia wanting a bigger share of China's grain imports. Maybe they'll come to play a little bit more competitively on corn, wheat, and maybe even oilseeds. We'll see. Have a great holiday. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look back now at how your markets closed on Tuesday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Well, March corn closed up 0.75 pennies, and May corn was up 1 1/2 cents. January soybeans closed up 5 3/4, while March beans were up 5 3/4 cents. And March Kansas City wheat closed down 6 cents, while March Chicago wheat was down 7 1/4, and March Minneapolis wheat closed down a nickel. Now on the livestock side, December live cattle cattle closed down 17.5 cents at $190.80, and April lean hogs were down 45 cents at $89.17 January Class 3 milk was down a penny at $19.70. Merry Christmas. This is the Ohio AgNet.